What's up, Kevin? How's it going, dude?
It's going very well. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm good. Oh, so I'm in Pensacola, Florida. I was walking this morning. My wife is home from work, and I had this massive freedom feeling of, I don't have my daughter. My daughter's 3 years old, and that's the one that where I'm like having to drop off to somebody. My 9-year-old's good, but my grandparents or my parents take care of her while I do podcasts. My wife is home right now, so I had so much freedom. I took a walk. Man, it felt like fall this morning. I don't know why. It's like a good breeze. And
Yeah,
where are you at?
good. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
So,
Yeah,
so it's still a little humid here, but not too bad.
yeah. Maybe getting a tiny bit better. It felt a little better this morning. I have no idea why. Maybe there's a little bit of a storm out in the Gulf or something. I don't know.
You don't need a reason to have a good day. It's all right.
Well, nice to meet you, man. Can you tell everybody your first and last name? Tell us the name of the academy. Tell us where you guys are. I know you're in St. Louis, you said, right? And
Kansas City.
just talk about the academy. The Kansas City. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Kansas City. Got it.
Uh, hey, I'm Kevin Croom. I live in Kansas City. I am the co-owner, co-founder of Cass County MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. It is in Belton, Missouri, and yeah, uh, we just opened up in April. So, man, we're just growing, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Oh man, I bet. How's it going so far as, opening up in April? Like, has it
Very,
been like a boom or like a slow growth or
very
how's it
good.
going?
Very good. I mean, we're making money already, and it's been 4 months making money. We're not totally filled up, but like I mean, it's getting there, and I'm really happy with the way it's growing. And it's like the growth is good, so we can have sustainable structure behind it to keep the growth up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Has it been
Yeah.
like a huge influx of kids, mostly kids or mostly adults? Or just kind of curious.
Even
Even.
we just got done with the kids summer program last week, and that we had like eight kids in there. And our kids program's growing a whole bunch, but then we're getting like a lot of new people, like first time jujitsu people, first time athletes,
Okay.
first time really doing anything, at least since high school. So a lot of basics are being taught, and it's
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe if ideally, that's the best way to start. I mean, you've watched somebody grow
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
beginning,
build it
right?
from the
Yeah.
ground up, man. Yes, yeah, definitely.
And what about, I mean, there's a lot of academies in that area, right? I think so. Kansas City.
So yeah, Kansas City. We are in the southern kind of suburb. Belton is a little bit southern suburb area, and
Yeah.
there we have a good distance in between any place. So like premium location, obviously, honestly, for like our first setup. We got amazing foot traffic at the spot. So it's really good. People from kind of like the boonies can come in. It's really close, and it's
Oh,
not too
okay.
far from the city. You know what I mean? So it's like a
Yeah.
really nice little area to get the right amount of people in. I'm
I
really excited.
understand. Yeah, you're like further out so that you can bring people in from the further south, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
just
yeah,
yep,
I understand what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
There's one other jujitsu school in the town of Belton, and so like I
mhm.
mean, it's yeah, man, it's a good spot.
What are you offering? Like what classes? I mean, is it anything other than jujitsu? And then
Yeah,
with jujitsu, is it gi and no gi? And just tell me a little bit. You
yeah,
can go through like the times as well if you want somebody who's watching
yeah.
that's local. Yeah.
So we got it's Cass County MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. So MMA first I was an MMA fighter for like 20 years. I'll get into
Okay.
that in a second. But MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, we also do yoga. I have like my 200-hour yoga certificate. So I teach yoga, kickboxing, and we have a bully-proof martial arts program for children. Yeah, man. So we kind of got a lot going on.
Also, is the bullyproof program, is that like separate from like a jujitsu class or is it incorporated?
So we have I mean, yeah, if I would say it's more of like an MMA program. They get
Yeah.
jujitsu belts, so like
Okay.
they're belted up through jujitsu. We do just do no gi. I'm a no gi man myself. Gis are hot. I don't like people pulling
Yeah.
on my clothes. It's like my most expensive outfit, and everybody's trying to choke me with it. I'm good. I
Yeah.
honestly, I haven't put on a gi since I got my black belt. Like, not at all. I have a couple times to coach. Other than that, I haven't worn a gi since my black belt.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. My son just
uh,
started up again last week, and then yeah, the first day I made damn sure it was the no-gi day. And he
yeah,
said
man. Yeah,
yes.
it's difficult. It's difficult, man, for sure. Um, yeah, so that's the gym. I mean, I'll just go ahead and start with my story if that's all
Yeah, for
right with
sure.
you.
Tell
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
go back
So,
as far as you want. Oh, I did want to,
yep,
I always ask this. I want to ask this before. This is significant, and then we'll get into the story. Tell me kind of like, no, I got two questions for you, okay?
yep,
Hold on.
yep.
Okay, first of all, are you offering, is every class MMA and then everything's just included in that, or is it separate classes,
No, yeah,
MMA
except
and
so
jiu-jitsu?
we have kickboxing, just kickboxing class, MMA class, which could be everything, right? Like, I mean, I could have an MMA class that's just jujitsu, which kind of MMA, so that's everything, wrestling, kickboxing, yeah, then just jujitsu, and then and then there's yoga as well. And then the kids program is kind of a mixture of all of those. We do a little bit of
Neat.
stretching, we do a little stand up, we do ground stuff, focus on
Yeah.
wrestling. Yeah.
And I mean, of course, coming from like an MMA background, you for sure can see the benefits of having a very well-rounded education. Is that what's
Yeah.
going on there?
Yeah. Yeah. As something you had sent me in the question is kind of like my teaching
That's my
philosophy.
next question.
Um,
What's your
yeah.
philosophy on all this?
So
Yeah,
so because of my fighting based experience, I'm a very position over submission person, and I want to teach situationally. I have a lot of people, a lot of older members who are just coming in to get fitness, who just want to learn some self defense, and want to feel more confident. I'm going to show them and teach them a lot different things than I have for the people who are wanting to be MMA fighters. I'm going to do a different approach. I want, like most people who are coming into my gym at the moment, like are just trying to get better and want to be, have more self defense and feel more confident, lose a little weight, move a little bit better, have fun in life, And so
yeah,
obviously to them, I mentioned if we're in a situation like, hey guys, this is where we want to control this person, right? Because if anything happens, you don't. We're not trying to break people's arms and be awesome. We want to control someone until help comes, right? Like, I mean, if
is that what you
like the
mean by position over submission?
yes,
Like
yes,
control
yeah.
over submission? Maybe
Yes,
that's another way to
yes,
say it.
control over position, submission.
Yeah,
And then also I talk about, hey, like, there's an arm bar here. You can go for an arm bar if there's 10 seconds left in the round, or you're losing the fight. You know what I mean? Like I want people to be situationally aware of what's going on. If it's a
yeah,
mother who's just trying to get a little bit more self defense, I'm gonna tell her, hey, this is the arm bar. I'll show her it, but I'm gonna say, hey, let's control a gift wrap. Let's control a position where I can control somebody and wait for help to come. I want to teach
yeah,
situationally to my students. Everybody's coming for a different approach. You're for a different goals.
yeah. In
And
real life,
I think
somebody's not going to tap out.
yeah.
I mean, what is that?
Right. So, yeah, man. In a real life situation, I want someone to either be able to break a grip and get the hell away, or control somebody and scream for help. Hey, hey, help! Hey, and other
Yeah,
people. I mean, like, So that's that. My teaching program is I want to teach for your goals. I want to teach if
yeah.
like I mean I was in the UFC. I fought all over the world. I was an elite level athlete. I can help you be there, if that's what your goal is. However, a lot of people who walk in my gym, those aren't their goals. And so
Yeah.
I want to teach, for them, hey, because it can help everybody, and there's different things and there's different modifications for everybody.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Uh.
I guess my teaching philosophy is I'm trying to bring it to the masses. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want everybody, to get the good thing about it. It is a universal thing. If you do it correctly, like there are universal benefits to this whole system, that will improve your life, not only your jujitsu.
Okay. Tell us the story. Go back as
Okay.
far as you want.
Yeah. Yeah. So man,
Out of the womb.
all I ever wanted to do was be a ninja. um, like
Like,
I
tell
I
us the cartoons you used to watch.
yeah,
Tell us
I
the
mean,
movie.
the Three Little
Yeah.
Ninjas, the movie, it was like my genesis. Obviously, Ninja Turtles. I mean, like all
Mhm.
in the '90s, they just made everything a ninja. I mean, they were just
Who was your favorite
spit.
Ninja Turtle?
Raphael for sure, man.
I,
Let's go, Raphael.
I
Yeah,
think Raphael was my favorite as well. Yep.
Rude Raf, man, a man of culture, a man of culture. um, so, yeah, so I started wrestling when I was 14, and even before I knew what MMA was, I knew there was something called ultimate fighting, and it was just everything, and that's what I wanted to do. And I I was working graveyard at a gas station when I was like 20 years old. I just turned 20, and a kid that I beat up in high school came in telling me he was a cage fighter. And I said, "Well, if you're a cage fighter, I'm a cage fighter." I asked him if he could get me a fight, and the next week I had my first MMA fight. And 14 months later, I was 19-0 as an amateur and going pro.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and then I had
So you
I
hadn't done
retired.
anything, any martial arts as a kid,
I
leading up to
wrestled.
that?
I wrestled and got in a lot of street fights. So, I mean,
Got it.
what I mean, I roughhoused a whole bunch. But yeah, no, I hadn't done anything since then. And yeah, I mean, I started in '07. That was in '07. So it was kind of the
Okay.
Wild West back then. I
Okay.
mean, it was the Wild West. I had really good cardio and I was really tough. And at that time, you could do what I did. Um, so
And what was it like? Like, I mean, was it crazy release of endorphins when you started? I mean, is that
uh,
something that it just felt like you had wanted to do that
uh,
for forever?
that,
Especially like, as a guy, like,
that
yeah, I can't imagine,
the
just
highest high.
beating the
Oh, the
tar out
high.
of somebody
The
professionally. Yeah,
highest
for
highs,
fun.
the highest highs, and like, yeah, the highest. Like, I can't. I mean, yeah, I'm still addicted to it. You know what I mean?
Were you good
Luckily,
at it? Were you good at it at first?
yeah. I
Were you
mean, I
winning
mean,
a lot, or how was that
like,
going?
well, yeah, I went 19-0 as an amateur in
19 and
14
0. Got it.
months.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got
in
it.
14 months. So,
Okay, got it.
like,
Got it.
I was fighting like twice a month sometimes. Uh, Yeah, and so I mean, yeah, I was good. I was just really tough. I wouldn't have been able to. Things are different nowadays. You know what I mean? YouTube wasn't as big. Like there, I couldn't look up stuff on
Yeah.
YouTube. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the only thing on YouTube was like Kimbo slice fights and stuff. There wasn't like YouTube instructionals for anything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Right? Like it
Hmm.
was a myth when I started. You like knew a guy whose sister's cousin worked with a guy who was a black belt. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like yeah,
And
and then
were
yeah,
you
so
learning jujitsu at that point or not yet?
yeah, so
Yeah.
after my first fight, actually after my second fight, I so that was like just Rocky training. I was just running and running up steps and shadow boxing. and then
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then after my second fight, I got a coach and yeah, started learning jujitsu and yeah, and then I ended up moving out to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to train at Greg Jackson's MMA, um, like legendary place.
Yeah,
Um,
tell us about that place. I don't know what. Yeah, tell us
Man, I
about.
mean, like it was when I first went out there, like Rashad Evans, who was the champion, John Jones, Carlos Condit, so many famous UFC fighters, like pioneers. Yeah, it was like the first really big spot. Yeah,
Got
like
it. This is New
I know
Mexico.
you're close to like ATT, Coconut Creek. Yeah, it was like those were both the same, but they were both like as big level, like bringing out like high level fight. Like George St. Pierre used to train there. Like I mean,
Mm.
everybody. Yeah.
Right.
Went out there. So fought. I fought for 18 years. I retired officially last year. Um,
Okay.
been doing jujitsu. So I was a no-gi brown belt when I moved back to Kansas City, and then started doing gi jujitsu. And that was in 2017. Um, I got my black belt in 2022. So like overall, like 13 years. Um, and yeah, man, just fought. I mean, I've done just about every style of fighting you can get paid for. Just about kickboxing, boxing, MMA, uh, combat jujitsu. You know, like whatever you're
Mhm.
paying, I'm doing. Uh, and then yeah,
Were you
man, fight.
traveling a lot? Were you traveling
Oh
a
yeah,
lot?
man. Yeah. I've got to see the world. I fought in seven countries. Got
Mm.
to, yeah, man. Pretty
Name
cool
some of
for
them. Name
just
some of them.
I've been to Russia, Kazakhstan, Serbia, Canada, Mexico, Japan.
Yeah. And so, like, is that school? I just really don't know. Is the school that you're with okay? How does that work? Are you doing all that on your own, like booking all that on your own, or are they in conjunction with that in any way? Are they like helping you, or
I mean,
I mean, I
some
know it's not
people,
a
I
team,
mean,
really,
so
right? Yeah.
that's a management thing. Like what you're
Yeah. Okay. Got
asking
it.
is there's management, and then there's like gym, there's training and management. That's management stuff. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, man, made it to the UFC. I had my UFC debut in 2020. Um, I fought in Bellator. I fought for most of the big organizations around the world. It was my life, and yeah, I was pretty successful. And yeah, man,
What?
finally retired last year. And me and my co-founder, Adam Austin, we met in the jiu-jitsu gym, and he met me walking in. I think he was a blue belt, and he saw me with a white belt on, not knowing that I'm really a brown belt, no gi. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna mess this guy up." And then I showed up. I was like, "Not today, son," you know. And that was 10 years ago, probably. So I mean, we just been training and friends ever since. And we've been talking about opening a place for probably 5 or 6 years now. And it got to the point where it was, hey, let's do it, and we did. And man, I'm so
What
thankful. Yeah.
was jujitsu doing anything different for you than the other martial arts in MMA? Does that make
Um,
sense?
well, I mean, so I have a lot of submission. I had probably like I think I don't know 15 submissions out of like 25, 28 wins, something like that.
Mhm.
I'm like something like my official pro record's like 28 and 15 or something like that. So
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I have a bunch of subs for sure. I really like chokes. People like me, like I've had both of my arms broken in fights and won those fights via armbar. And
Okay.
some people are so tough that joints don't really work on them. So chokes. I
Mm.
yeah, man, I like choking people, and no matter how tough you are, you can't fight if you can't breathe. So kind of my game is scrambles to strangles. You know.
Okay, got it, got it. What about like in your personal life? Was jujitsu connecting into your personal life in ways that other martial arts weren't? Or were they all connecting in the same way, doing the same thing?
Uh,
And you talk about
like,
that quote that you told me about at this time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, we could talk about Miyoda Musashi for a while now. I like my gym is kind of based off him in a lot of sense. One of his famous quotes is, "It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war." I don't know if you can
Hmm.
see my samurai with flowers there.
Okay, see it. Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
right. So he believed in he was a legendary samurai. I think he had like 68 single combat. He was like 68-0, like single combat sword fights, like
Mm.
murking people. Like he was the man. And he wrote a book called The Book of Five Rings, like in a cave, like right before his death, and it's like his like philosophies on life. And I really dig them. He
Can you say his
really
name one more time?
Miyamoto Musashi.
Got it.
The quote, so a warrior, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, right? It's like right, pray for peace but train for violence. It's like I want but it's more than just preparing for war. It's being a complete person. The logo of our gym, the logo of Cass County, is a rose and a sword. Because that's the complete person. It's like there's no point in having like the ability to fight for survival in life, which like that's what MMA, that's what martial arts gives you, the confidence and the ability to fight for survival, if you don't have anything beautiful in life to fight for. Right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you got to be the sword and the rose. There's so much more to life. And like the more you're the sword, the more you can enjoy the beauty of life. And like I just really believe in that, like trying to get like the duality of, it's like, yes, like all I know is like I was a like I grew up abused, and I mean there's things I was a fighter for a reason. And I was an angry person, and I wanted to hurt people. And then the more I trained jujitsu, the more I trained fighting, the more I trained martial arts, the more it made me softer and more comfortable with being soft. And I have the ability to be a monster, but I don't have the want to anymore. Right. Like I used to want to be a
Yeah.
monster when I have the ability because I was hurt. And like through the training, through the martial arts, like it has made me with being comfortably soft. And like I mean I'm still the sword, don't get it twisted. Yeah, I'm still the sword,
Yeah.
but it allows me to be a much more beautiful rose, if you catch my drift. Anyway,
Mhm.
the
100%.
thing I said earlier about Miyoto Musashi is, one of his sayings is, if you know the way broadly, you see it in all things. So for me, what that means is I have lived my life fighting. I've lived my life competing. I've lived my life trying to take the will out of other men. And so therefore I see that in all areas of life. I liken everything in my life to a fight, to jujitsu, to a match. That's my analogies. That's how I make sense to myself. That's how I see everything, is through the lens of a warrior. And
In what way do you think that can give you an advantage in life?
uh
Seeing
well,
that through those
I
lens.
mean, just like learning how to be tactical. So I'm not the best chess player. I'm decent. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not the worst. I'm not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chess is hard for me to think multiple moves and all this stuff. But jujitsu is human chess. Like I can think multiple moves in advance, and I can funnel people into making the decisions I want them to make.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, in
No, I
something else,
studied I studied international security and diplomacy in college. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Carrots and sticks. Yeah.
yeah, yes, yes, yeah, and also like as a teacher, I feel like it helps because it's like you have to know who to kiss or who to hug and who to kick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's both. you know,
Yeah.
uh
Sure.
um but so and then something else like you talking about how I want to teach situationally. I want to teach tactically, which helps in life. Is I mean, I want people is you can just show a move. Oh, hey, here's a move, here's a move, here's a move, here's a move. But if you start thinking about concepts and like systems, concepts and systems, it no longer becomes a move. It's all force and leverage, right? And at the
Mhm.
beginning, you have to think in moves because you don't understand. I liken it to being in a dark cave. When you start, you got the little bit of the light from the outside. You can kind of see the cave, and then you
Mhm.
start taking steps in, and you just don't see. And so someone gives you a lighter and you can kind of see, and that's like a couple of moves, and then like you start trading up to a flashlight to a thing, and like eventually you can see the whole cave system.
Mhm.
uh
Now, is
so
that applied
so
to MMA as well? Striking?
100%.
Okay.
100%. 100%. Yeah. So something I like to say about the fight game, jujitsu included. There are elements to it that all adhere, right? If you learn foundational moves and you put these foundational moves together, like you will see that throughout all levels of the sport, right?
Mm, mm,
Right?
mm,
We
mm,
start
mm.
off we start off teaching people how to shrimp, teaching people these warm-ups. Well, not
Mhm.
only is it to get your body warm so you can move, but these are also the basic building blocks to a jujitsu arsenal, right? And if you put
Mhm.
these moves together, once you learn these moves, you put these moves together and it's like building Legos, right? Or like
Mhm.
or it's a language. It's trying to learn a language.
Yeah,
Once you become a black belt, you can have a conversation in a language, but like until then, you're trying to figure out how to whatever, right?
makes sense.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I like
so
what you just said. Once you become a black belt, a lot of people say that they didn't really start jujitsu until they became a black
Oh,
belt.
oh,
I've
it's
heard
now
that.
it's now you can have a philosophical discussion, right?
Okay, right.
Before you're just yelling sentences, and maybe those
Yeah.
sentences can make, but I can wax philosophically on my shit. You know what I mean? On my stuff. I apologize. you know, um, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, it's a conversation. Now we can have broad discussions because I fully understand the universe. You know, um, um, I can't. I'm sorry, man. You got me nerding out over here. I can't remember where we were necessarily.
Well, hit on this. No, we're like in the sky,
Yeah,
but in a beautiful garden in the sky right now.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing. You're doing amazing. And
yeah.
I'm understanding exactly what you're saying. The next thing I wanted to ask is like, what was your first experience teaching MMA and jiu-jitsu? What was that like, and why did you enjoy that if you did?
Yeah, yeah. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can say or really remember or if like my first teaching was memorable to me at all.
Yeah,
Because I back then I was very much a fighter and I kind of didn't want the responsibility of teaching others.
yeah,
And at the time I didn't really understand that teaching people is also helps you get better and everything. And why, like, I did teach, it wasn't like my love, you know what I mean?
yeah.
What I really started was, I like kind of, I took some time off from fighting and I didn't really train for like a year. And then, just the way things happened, my buddy needed a coach, and so I started helping him. And then, like, I got back, and I was like, man, I'm really good at this. Like, it's like I kind of like took a break from my life. I took a vacation from my life, and like forgot. And then I came back and I was like, oh man, I'm really good at this. Well, like this feels good. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
so that kind of set me up on, okay, let's get this gym going. And
Okay.
honestly, like I knew I was good. I love this. I'm very passionate about this. So like I knew like
Like it was
my
there.
passion for this would help and sell and other people would
Yeah.
find it. But honestly, the biggest thing that I am surprised about is how much I love kids classes. I did not, if
Okay.
you asked me a year ago, I would not have thought that, dude, I freaking love watching little girls beat up their brothers. There is something that makes me so freaking excited about watching a little 6-year-old girl take down her 11-year-old brother and be like, ooh, what? Say something. Yeah, don't tell mom. You know what I mean? Like, it gets me more excited than anything. And I think it's just like seeing kids understand, like it's so much more rewarding, right? Like I get I think probably one of the reasons why I'm an incredibly happy individual is because I get really easily excited, you know? And so like I'll be teaching something that's like exciting and awesome, and like no adults care. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm like, dude, like,
yeah,
guys, like, do you not understand how cool this is? What? You know? And then I show it to kids and they're like, ah, you know what I mean? And like, I
yeah,
need that. I'm a big kid, man. All I'm trying to do is be
yeah.
what I
Stay that
needed when
way.
I was a kid. You know what I mean? I just want to be what I needed. And so yeah, man, I'm loving kid class.
Cool, man. Well, when if somebody asks you, what can jujitsu and MMA, any martial art, what can it do for my life? Like, what's your? I know that's so broad, but what would you
Oh,
say if
buddy.
somebody's
Oh,
asked
buddy, I
that?
got you. Okay, man. Here's the thing: is there's so many benefits. Yeah, and we could
Yeah,
spend
yeah,
more time than we have talking about the benefits. But you're gonna. I mean, not initially will you feel better because you're gonna be working muscles you haven't used, and but eventually it'll make you feel better. It's healthy. It's a lot more fun than running on a treadmill. You know what I mean? There's an
yeah.
accountability that goes with a class, a jujitsu class. You get a training partner. If your partner don't show up the day, you're talking smack to them, right? There's an
Yeah.
accountability. There's a community. It's so much better than. And this is coming from a person who's had to be motivated himself and do stuff on his own his entire life. And I'm just saying that when there's a group around, it's easier. It's more
Right.
fun.
100%.
It's more fun. Okay, people show up, they think they're going to learn about fighting, but and they do. That's part of it. But it's learning how to face adversity. It's learning not how to
Yeah.
give up when things are hard. People always say I had a big career, and they always want to say I was lucky. No, I just kept trying. That's all
Okay.
life is. That's all life is you keep trying, right? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it teaches you. It teaches you to try. It teaches you to think on your own. It teaches you how to
Mhm.
how to evolve. You know what I mean? Like how you do anything is how you do everything. The thing I love the most about the mats is there's no faking on the mats. If you trained, I can tell. If I can tell the type of person you are if we go together, right? I can tell if you quit when it's easy. I can tell if I'm gonna want to hang out with you by our role. Almost always. Yeah. Like
Mm.
there's a thing that it cuts out a human bullshit meter. You can't
Yeah.
fake. You can't fake on the mats. I can train with you for a few minutes and know if I want to have a conversation with you. And like, I mean, that's not always right, but yeah, pretty much, you know.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, so many bits. Mentally, I would be dead or in prison if it wasn't for this sport. When everything in my life has shattered around me, I've always been able to go to the gym. When everything in my life is terrible, despair, and I don't want to do it, I've always been able to sink myself into the gym, and then
It's
that
something
gets
to
you so
hold on
tired.
to, right?
It's the only thing I've ever had, and like that's why I'm so passionate about giving people the opportunity to find the love that I found for it.
Why do you think they're enjoying their time at your academy right now over the past several months? Why do you think they're enjoying it? Why do you think
Yeah,
they're coming back?
yeah. Okay, man. I will. I'm gonna brag a little. Hopefully, you can feel it, man. I got good vibes. Hopefully, you can
Yeah,
feel it in this interview, man. I got good vibes.
yeah,
I'm fun to
yeah.
be
You can be my
around.
best friend. Yeah,
I'm fun to be around. I've lived a lot of life. I've seen the world. I've been broke chasing a dream for a really
yeah,
long time. And
yeah.
uh, I, I I I know a thing or two. And I'm a good time. I'm understanding. I know what I'm talking about as far as this. As far as fighting comes. There might not be a lot of things that I have. Uh, Clear confidence in my ability to. If I don't know, I can figure it out. Come to
Yeah.
me with questions. I don't know everything, but I guarantee you we can come to a solution together. You and me can talk about it and figure it out, right? Like I don't know. I don't got all the answers, but I can we can put our heads together and we can find out, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
You
very
seem like a very rounded person. Yeah.
I'm very confident in that. And I also I feel like teaching to situationally to my crowd, right? We got people who are trying to be fighters in our class. We got mothers who are just trying to get some pounds off. We got, older gentlemen who like just want to move, people who want community, younger kids who have just started, right? Like there's a lot of people there. And so I think
Yeah.
like being able to be like, hey, like situationally this probably isn't the move for you. Hey, this right, or I have a lot of experience as far as all levels of this sport, all levels of to the highest of the highs, to trying to get out of an awkward situation,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I feel like I'm pretty adequately qualified to discuss all levels.
Yeah, I could talk to you for ages about it. I mean, I'm enjoying this. Thank you, man, so
Yeah.
much for for
Hey,
everything you've
yeah.
added. I mean,
I just wanted to say thank you, man. As soon as you told me, I'm not crazy big on just giving an hour of my time to people, but I heard the idea for the podcast, and I really like that. That's the energy that I'm trying to promote in this world. And hats off to you. I really like that, and thank you for what you're doing.
I think you explained it very well, like what martial arts can do for people at a very high level. And I appreciate your persistence in life. However, how else can I say it? I see that, I hear that, your persistence. And you say you, you've struggled and you've pushed, for so long to get to where you are now. And I know, or I understand, the growth you probably have had over the last 100 years, whatever it's been. But
Right, right.
yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Thank you, man. Is there to wrap it up? Can you is what would you like to say to like the people who go there at your academy? Is there anything you'd like to tell them?
Keep coming in. It's so easy to like get bogged down in like end destination, or like what man, it's the journey. Come in, it's the people, it's little things, like Rome wasn't built in a day, right? But it's the environment, it's the journey, man. So I'm happy to be on the journey with you. um Cass County MMA and Jiu-Jitsu .com, and then Cass County MMA for YouTube, um,
And then
Instagram,
the logo is
TikTok.
pink, right? The logo is pink.
Yep, yep,
Is it
yes,
always
sir.
pink?
Yep,
Is it always
yep.
pink?
Yeah. We might have a change there, but yeah, the logo's pretty
Yeah.
pink. Yeah,
I just
pink's
mentioned
my
that because it's
jam.
easy to find. It's the pink one. It's
Yeah,
kind of easy to
yeah,
spot. Yeah. On
yes,
social.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Heck yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
man. Well,
man.
thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it. I'm going to
Awesome.
reach out,
Yeah, man. Jay,
tomorrow and I'll
that was a
talk to
great
you.
time. Heck
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Kevin. I hope you have an
Cool, for
amazing day,
sure.
dude.
Yeah, man. You
All right.
too. Heck yeah. Right on.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you today?
Hello. I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm really good. Thank you so much. I got the fan blowing
Good.
on me. Perfect setting here. It's a medium setting today. It's a little extra hot. But
Yeah.
yeah, tell me tell everybody your first and last name, the name of the place, and tell us where you are and what you guys
Okay.
offered.
So my name is Wayne Marble, and our school is Blue Springs Jiu-Jitsu. We're located in Blue Springs. It's in Missouri, just outside of Kansas City.
And what do you guys offer there? Do you do only jujitsu? Is it any striking at all, or do you do
A
gi
little
and
bit.
no gi?
So we have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we do offer both gi and no gi. We favor gi.
Mhm.
And we also offer judo and then kali. Mm, Kali is usually the one that everybody's like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
It's
What
a
is that?
Filipino martial art that is weapons based, so sticks and knives and things like that.
Oh, okay.
And then we do a little kickboxing on the side too.
Does that mean like defending yourself from somebody who does have a weapon, or you having a weapon as well?
Both, either or.
Okay, got it, got it. Do y'all have what's like the lowest age there?
The lowest age I work with is 4.
4? Okay.
I start them at 4. We have a preschool class on Saturday mornings for that age group because they're a little young really to follow the instructions of the next class up.
Yes.
But
Makes sense. They're just kind of doing and not remembering, of course. My daughter's 3. I know exactly how it is. Yep.
yeah.
Um, cool, man. I sometimes ask this question because it's just kind of interesting. You don't have to name names, but what's the oldest person you have taught or trained with before? I just like to show all the 30-year-olds that
Oh,
you're not too old.
Steve Childs. I hate to pin an age because they're right on the spot. I'd have to look it up or something, but he's mid 70s.
Okay, mid 70s.
And
All right.
he is training. Now, he doesn't train the jujitsu, he trains with the Kali.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Um,
And,
go ahead, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, they say the salt and pepper in the beard. I remember the salt and pepper stage that people seem to like, but there's a lot of salt in this beard at this point. A little saltier than what I would like, but I'm not as young as I once was. And it is kind of interesting because there's several of us training up there that are in our 50s.
Okay, got it, got it.
So, and I don't know if it's because I got older and people looked at me and said, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Right. So
Mhm.
whatever that might be, but it's been kind of an interesting adjustment as a lot of us are older in there.
Yeah, yeah. What's like the youngest person in the adult class there?
The youngest person in the adult class, I think, is Leah, who finally turned 16 recently.
Got it, got it. Yeah, I just kind of like to highlight it because I think that's the first thought for anybody like 30 or older, I'm just too old. And
Oh
I
my
think a lot of
gosh, I
people
get
just don't
that.
really know. Yeah.
No, I get that a lot. I have people will call every now and then and be like, I really want to do jujitsu, but um, man, I'm getting pretty old for this. And then when I'm saying, oh, how old are you? And they'll be like, I'm 28. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I tell you what, the first couple times coming in, you don't have to go against anybody under the age of 40 if you don't want to.
That's funny. That's funny.
So,
Yeah, I bet even when they like know that there's older people that they still feel that way. Like how is my body going to take that? I don't know. That's
oh
28
yeah.
years old, but I don't know, like 40 years old or something. I don't know. I'm 40, so that's like the perspective
So
I'm
you're
coming from.
right
Yeah,
there.
so
See,
I'm right there. Like I feel like I'm too old. Now I know that I'm not, but I would, of course, feel that way. Um,
yeah.
but what's your kind of like overall way that you teach? Is there kind of like an overall like philosophy or methodology that you go about?
I would, if I'm going to say philosophy, I would say that jujitsu is so much more than a belt around someone's waist. It's a way of life. It's a healthy lifestyle. Um, and
It's
that, I
not a
mean,
diet.
that's no, it's not just a diet, but well, and even the physical aspects of it. Sometimes when you said you were 40, sometimes when you're 40, it's hard to get motivated to get out and work out.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that jujitsu is the end all, but when you're going in and rolling with people on a weekly basis, that is a new motivation to get people to go out and work out, because
Right.
it's pretty rough when you're getting in there and getting crushed because you got tired too fast.
Right, 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 right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
motivational.
It's motivational. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody just told me the other day, like, yeah, I mean, it's different when you're doing it with other people, because they're kind of depending on you. They're wondering where you are when you're not there. So
Yeah.
it's not like going to the gym. You have to have somebody else to roll with, specifically. And it becomes like, I guess it's like a social hour as well, as far as, you become close to
Oh,
those people, right?
it is so much about social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, we're a community in there,
Hmm.
and I think that might be one of the most important parts of it. Like, when you become an adult, you get out of high school or college or whatever it is, you see your certain people at work, and then you come back and then there's no one to
Yeah.
interact with. And there is something about getting in with other guys and rolling around, or girls, whatever. Um, there's a special connection amongst the people there.
And I guess it takes it to a whole nother level, even beyond that, because of the struggle that you're going through with those people. It's not just hanging
Yeah.
out, and it's real
And you're
struggle.
trusting that if someone gets a choke on you, that they'll let go. You
Mm,
know, when you tap, I
sure.
mean, there's a lot of trust and things that you have to develop along with that as well.
Yeah, yeah. Now, going back to your philosophy, did you hit on that yet? Or maybe I didn't understand.
No, well, I think, yeah, I mean, that is more my philosophy with that. I think self-defense is something very important to understand,
Uh-huh.
to be able to know, to have the confidence that you can defend yourself in a real situation.
Yeah.
But jujitsu applies to so many areas of life. Now I know you said your kids have done jujitsu. Have you done jujitsu too?
Zero.
Zero. Well, you need
Lay
to
it
get
on
in
me.
there. You
Yeah.
got to get in there.
Mhm.
Um, but there's a lot
But
of
I have no time.
principles.
Yeah, you're going
Yeah,
to hit on that. Yeah.
I know that's what everybody
Yeah.
says. 24 hours in everybody's day.
Hmm. Hmm. But
um,
mine are different. Yeah. Right?
yeah, exactly.
Mine are different.
Um, there's so many applications that are kind of true to life in jujitsu. So that when you're rolling with an upper belt and all of a sudden their arms just laying out there all by itself, be careful. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
Right? There's things like that. There's, for actions and reactions. One of the big ones is learning to work through difficult things, under pressure. The big dude gets on top of you, you're getting smashed. You got to learn how to stay calm and think your way through things.
Yeah.
Um,
Like
and
taking things step by step
mhm,
instead of freaking
yeah,
out. Hmm.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
So,
it is, I mean, that is a mental thing. Of course, the mental, your mentality is your life, that applies to
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
we take it with us everywhere we go.
Can you go back as far back as you want and kind of tell us, um, how did you get into jujitsu and why did you enjoy it? Why did you keep doing it? And just tell us your whole story of, from then,
So, should I go back to when I started jujitsu or when I started martial arts?
martial arts would be
Probably
even better.
probably martial arts, and
Hmm.
there's quite a bit here.
Yes.
Um, so it wasn't my idea to start martial arts. All right, I had a rather traumatic childhood, right, from 0 to 13. And you know how the dad that raised me, I was adopted when I was young, 6 months. Um, but from 0 to 13, the dad that I had, I will say it this way, he was a paranoid schizophrenic, manic depressant, and none of his imaginary friends really liked me that much.
Okay.
Okay. And when you're a child, there's a tendency that you blame yourself. If this person's not happy, if this person, mom or dad, are off the deep end in some way, somehow as a young child, you internalize it
Okay.
and it's kind of your fault. When I hit 13, there was like a switch that is still hard for me to even explain. And that switch went from, I couldn't figure out, I needed to express that because he would come off with things like I was working with the FBI. He wanted to know what was going on and things I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to express because I had always been internalizing these things, and I needed to find a way to express that when he was going off on me with things that were just completely ridiculous, that I was no longer willing to accept the blame.
Mm.
And at 13, the only way I could figure out how to do that was just physically. I just punched him. Um, and at about the third fist fight that we got into, all of which I threw the first punch. And it wasn't that I was thought I could win. I knew I couldn't win the fist fight when I started. I had no shot. I graduated high school at like 120 pounds. He was like 6'1". I'm
Yeah.
like, so it wasn't a matter of winning. It was just I couldn't figure another way out to express myself, and that's how it came out.
Yeah.
And when it, so with that going on, my mom finally got us out of there. All right, and then at that point, we moved to Blue Springs, and I still remember her coming home saying, I had one friend in Blue Springs. Andy Ackley was my one friend that lived in Blue Springs, and I came home from school or something, and she's like, my mom was like, "Hey, Andy wants to do karate. Would you like to do karate?" And I was like, probably 110, 115 pounds at that time. I'm kind of like, she was so confident I was going to say yes too. But I was like, Mom, I'm the tiniest guy in my class. If I want to get beat up, I can just go to school. I don't need to go somewhere where they actually know how.
Yeah.
And anyway, she kind of looks surprised at me, and then she goes, "Well, you start Monday." And I was like,
Okay.
I, oh gosh, like maybe she didn't hear me right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I started Monday, and I got in. This wasn't jujitsu. This was more like a kickboxing program, and
So it wasn't karate, it was more like kickboxing.
it was more like kickboxing that I
Yeah.
ended up doing. Yeah, for quite a while. And anyway, I got Andy started with me, and about 6 months later, he quit, and I was like, I'm having a blast. This is fun. So I stayed with it, and then
What
I
did you
had a
like about it?
friend.
Was there something specific that you pinpoint?
I was small, but I was relatively quick,
Yeah.
and with the techniques that I was learning, I was actually not too bad at it, and it was one of the first things that I was actually kind of good at.
Yeah.
So I was having fun.
So it's definitely something positive that was added to your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, big time. And then, but that was all kickboxing in that area. And then when I was like 18, 19, I'd gotten my black belt in the Gung Fu that we were doing. And my friend Alan Walker, he was my buddy at that time. And actually, I lived with him for a while. He came home from work one day. He was a police officer. And he came home from work one day and he goes, "Wayne, guess what we're going to do?" I pretty much just did whatever he did at that time.
Okay.
And he goes, "I don't know what." And he goes, "We're going to start judo."
Mm.
I'm like, "But why are we doing that? We just got our black belts. Why would we want to do that?" He said, "Well, as a police officer, everything we've learned, punches, kicks, it's really hard to write this in the reports in my profession as self-defense." And I said, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of before body cams and stuff too. So, but if
yeah.
they run at me and
And
they
they're having to
charge
write
and
it down. It sounds bad on
they
paper.
trip
Words.
and fall down really hard, hey, they tripped and fell down.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is the honest goodness story about how I started grappling.
Okay.
Um, and then with judo, Alan and I went through and got our black belts together in judo. And then,
Mm.
that was early 90s when Hoist Gracie started coming around, getting into the UFCs and stuff like that. And I thought, man, I think I could do that.
Mm.
Right. And eventually I kind of tinkered around with that. I actually got my original blue belt from Hoist Gracie. But then my kids were younger at that point too. I didn't have the finances to be traveling out to California all the time.
Yeah.
Got to work with Hickson for a while. That was amazing.
Mm.
But then it kind of faltered. I couldn't do anything local and I couldn't afford to go anywhere.
Okay.
And then at some point, Renato Tavares came out and was doing a seminar at a place, and one of my instructors, Chris Handy, that works with me at Blue Springs Jiu-Jitsu, he went to the seminar and he came back and he's like, "Wayne, we got to have him come here. We absolutely have to get him to come here." And I'm like, because he rolled with him, and Hanato was way out of our leagues.
Mm.
Um, and I'm like, I get what it's like to roll with someone you didn't have a chance with. I've rolled with Hickson Gracie. I never had a chance. I'm just like, mm.
Yeah.
um, and then he was so into it. He was like, no, we got to have him. We got to have him. And I was like, all right, how much does it cost? And he told me, and then I go, all right, well, you pay half.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that'd be the end of it. And instead he goes, okay. And I'm like, well, son of a gun, now I got to come up with half.
Okay, got it.
So we had him in for the seminar. And after that, one of the most important things for me was I've had lots of different people I've trained with. And some of them it's one thing to be a great fighter. It's something else to be a great person and a great fighter.
Okay.
And that was really, really important to me. And pretty much from the start, when I met Renato Tavares and we started working with him, I realized that he was someone that I could respect on the mats as well as off of the mats.
Mhm.
And he's kept to that. And since that time, we've been training with him. And
Why was that a thing for you? The off the mat thing. Was it a specific reason that you've seen, someone who others that were not that way or anything like that? Is there any kind of little story there or
I
just in the
have.
past?
I mean, no really stories because I don't want to go in like talking
Yeah,
negative
sure.
about anybody. So,
But you had
but
seen some
yeah,
things.
I mean, yeah, I had seen things that were like, this person is a great fighter, but they're just not a great person.
Yeah.
They're not. I believe that we should be out helping people. And a lot of the great fighters are not. Some of them do,
Mhm.
but
Did, were you already kind of noticing the ways that jujitsu was affecting your personal life in any way at that point, or did that
the
not
concepts,
click
yeah,
yet? Yeah.
no, the concepts had pretty well clicked with that.
Okay.
And some of the philosophies of how jujitsu works and how it helps people in their everyday lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how was it
So,
helping you at that time? Do you feel like it was a specific way?
well, I think the techniques that Hanato brought to us, like I was already into the martial arts, I was already into the helping people, and I did understand a lot of the concepts, but the techniques that he brought with the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I mean, you're using the whole body rather than just the upper body, for one,
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to what I'd been doing.
Okay.
Um, the techniques were amazing
Okay.
and way beyond what we'd seen.
Okay. Did that start to kind of like open your mind to like, your mind started clicking in different ways because of that?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how in the world did you start teaching? Was it soon after that, or was it just recently, or how
Teaching
did that come out? Yeah.
jujitsu.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I opened our school in 1992.
Okay.
So it started out as a gung fu and a judo school,
Got it. Got it.
right? And then over time it developed. Once I started with Hanato, then it became more of a jujitsu school, and the jujitsu pretty well took over.
When was the point where you decided you wanted to have an academy? You wanted to have a gym? Was that, I mean,
I think that was so like from 1992. You know how when I don't know, maybe other people don't, but like I'd been to some camps and said, the last questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I remember seeing a couple of years ago, going through a bunch of old stuff, looking through things, and one of the questions is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And kids are going to say, I want to be an astronaut and a lawyer and all these things. And I don't remember what all they said, but one of the things on there is I want to be a martial arts instructor.
Okay.
Even when I first started, it had that much of an impact on my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like kind of looking back, I mean, you said you're in your 50s or so. So you've been doing
Yeah.
martial arts for how long? For since you were 13, right? It was that what
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
If you would like to think martial arts for, one big thing, one of the several things, what would be one of those things? What would you think it for what it's done in your life?
giving me the confidence and self-control that I
Hmm.
was desperately needing.
What do you mean by self-control? Because that could go different ways. What is it for you? What does
Sure.
it mean?
From, the reactions. So, like I talked about with my dad when I was younger,
Hmm.
the reaction of just throwing the punch, um, learning how to handle pressure and react in more appropriate ways.
Yeah. Do you think the confidence is what has given you the self-control?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And being smashed a lot and having to maintain my calm to get out of situations like that.
Right, right,
So,
right. So you're probably like more likely to be able to like think through things systematically
hmm
or
under
methodically.
pressure.
Yeah, under
Yeah,
pressure.
because
Right.
it's easy when there's no pressure to think through things. When there's no pressure, you can think through things easier. But when all the
Yeah.
weight is on you all of a sudden, then you have to really think about, how am I going to get out of this?
And
Can I get out of this? What do I need to happen to get out of this?
yeah, you're more reacting than
Hmm.
thinking logically. Right, right.
Yeah. And that is, with jujitsu, one of the things, intentional movement. Um, when people first come in, they might be fast, but if they're fast, it's just, they're not getting out of anything. you know,
Uh-huh.
movement
Mhm.
is not the same as the intentional movement of being able to think, okay, I need my frame. If I'm in the side control, I need to hip, hip bump up, hip shoot out, get
Yeah.
my knees under to take guard. Um, so purposeful movement.
Was it completely did you look at jujitsu in a different way when you became a black belt?
Hmm.
Did it mean
I don't
something
know.
different for you? So some people say that they didn't start jujitsu until they became a black belt, or um,
It didn't end,
mhm,
right? It wasn't like there was, oh, I got a black belt, now I have magical powers. There were
mhm,
no extra magical powers that came with that belt.
mhm,
But the development of jujitsu has not stopped. Like, still to this day, when Hanato comes and does seminars and events here in our area, every single time he comes in with something that we're looking at and going, oh my gosh, I, the way of putting on this choke, um, the way, the different movements, it's never stopped developing.
mm, mm, mm. So not only for you, as far as you developing, but jujitsu in itself, is that true?
Jiu-Jitsu keeps evolving.
Mm,
Yeah. I
mm.
mean, Hanato brought
Getting
in,
better or just different? You understand what I mean?
oh, yeah, I would say better. I would say
Sure,
better because now the jiu-jitsu that was working fine 15 years ago, it's not
sure.
going to work on the newer players of today because they've already been there and passed it.
Mm-hmm. Got
And
it.
there's always things you think can't be countered. Hanato came in and taught a particular choke, and it's a choke that I like to do on people.
Yeah.
And he showed it in a way of using your chin to hold their hand and stuff. And it's a
Ah,
trick. I won't try to go through the whole thing on here.
yeah.
And then you put the hand up, and nobody blocked that from me for like 6 months. And
Mm,
finally, one of my other guys that's worked up with me, Peter Carmack, the other day, he said, "What if I do this?" And he put his hand across and completely blocked the choke. So, and then again,
yeah.
I thought I had something that was like, this is going to work forever. Nope. Till
Yeah, yeah.
Peter finds a way to block it. And he did.
I guess that's a huge reason why jujitsu is so intriguing or interesting and um interesting.
Yes.
It makes people want to continue to do it because you're continuously learning. The fact that you're using all your limbs and not only all your limbs but your entire body, but also it's not just pressure, it's movement, it's leverage, it's 10,000 things. It's mental, it's patience, it's
Hmm.
all these things that working together, or it's almost endless in possibilities, right?
Right.
Striking is striking, but this is using your entire body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in not, standing up, you're rolling, so that brings, like, more, pressure, if you will, or getting out of pressure.
Yeah.
It brings different elements
A
in
lot of times
in
I
fight.
will use, and jujitsu is not the only martial art that I've done.
Mhm.
Um, but in many ways, compared to many martial arts, it kind of makes a lot of martial arts look like checkers. Jiu-jitsu is more chess.
Mm, mhm.
That is an analogy that I like
Yep, makes
for
sense,
it.
yeah,
So,
from an outsider looking in, from what I
hmm
know, yeah, mhm. Um, can you tell me, if somebody comes to you and asks you what can martial arts do for their lives, what would be your general answer to that?
um, well, like in my case, it's been life changing, and it teaches people how to function under stress and how to work through things. Um, I think one of your questions was why do people keep coming back to my classes?
Mhm,
And with that, the thing that I hear the most, I know some schools, our students compete. We go to tournaments, we compete.
mhm,
But to me, there is more to it than just competitions. And I think one of the things that keeps people coming back to our school, what I hear people say a lot, is the family atmosphere.
okay.
Like there's a really solid community of people who really work well together and we help each other.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I see I felt that at the academy where my son goes, just as a parent alone. You talk about the social element for an
hmm
adult. Just as a parent not practicing, you're sitting there and it's a forced social hour for 45 minutes twice a
right.
week. And you make
Yeah,
friends, become Facebook friends, and your
absolutely.
kids are doing the same thing. And I say forced because you're taking your kid to practice. Uh,
Sure. You're just
but
all
you're
there
you're in
together.
a comfortable inside air conditioned environment and you're just sitting there, you know. So
Yeah,
it's different from that aspect, in that aspect from other sports, the fact that you're just sitting there socializing. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I know what you're talking about, the family atmosphere. Um,
hmm
Thank you so much, man, for everything that you've added in your whole story. I really appreciate it.
You're
Um,
welcome. It was great.
what would
Fun
you
to
like
do
to tell
this.
everybody there that goes there? Is there any kind of little message that you would like to give to them if they're
You know,
watching?
I would say, are we talking more adults or adults for kids or
Whichever you like.
in general? I would tell people do it. You have to go in, you have to find a place that is fitting, right? Because not every place is for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you find a place with a good atmosphere, one that's going to work for you, then you just got to do it. And don't quit as soon as it gets hard.
Hmm.
Right? That is something important for adults, whether it's for themselves or whether it's for their children, is anything you ever do that you really get good at some point, it gets hard. And
Hmm.
that includes jujitsu,
Okay.
right? I mean, you run into those barriers that is like, man, this is hard. This isn't as much fun right now. But the only way you get past that is to keep going. So,
What would you
do it.
tell me,
Don't
like
quit.
this very specific situation? I told you my age.
Yeah.
I don't have time. Yeah, that's my reason. So what would you tell somebody that says that?
Yeah, and I am that way too. I mean, my time is very, very limited as well. I work a lot. But you've got to make time. You have to make time for yourself. Life will, life is going to go whether we like it or not. And what we do in our lives is what we do in our lives. Um, kids grow up in the blink of an eye. And now when I talk about things, someone will say, "Oh yeah, this happened," and I'll say, "Yeah, that was like 5 years ago." And then I think about it, it's like, it could have been 10 years ago. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah,
Life flies.
that's true. I see
Life
that now. Yeah.
flies, and we have to like pay attention to that and make sure we're doing the things in life that we want to do. Because otherwise time will go with us, with or without us.
Yeah, I think it's more than a cliche, you know? It's very
Yeah.
applicable, the time thing, how time flies. And it's
Yeah.
something that we should probably keep that perspective that that's happening all around us all the time. Time is
Yeah.
flying. Yeah, and especially if we're doing similar things every day, yada yada, especially if you have kids. Of course, mine are
Mm-hmm.
9 and 3. I'm in that prime stage of time's flying
Yeah.
probably faster than any time in my life, I guess. The
And
busiest I've ever been, right, of course.
yeah, and I don't know how well this fits, but I remember when my kids were little. I think it's one of the reasons I would say that I'm a better grandpa than I was a dad. In that, in the before the cell phones had recorders on them and stuff like that, you had to have like recording devices.
Yeah.
And when my kids were little, this is just one example, but I was like, I really need to buy that video recorder so I can have some of these memories. But I couldn't afford it and I didn't have time and I didn't this and that. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then the next year, and I'm going to do it. Next year, I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, finally, I said, all right, I'm going to do it. And then I look at my kids and they're all bigger than me.
Mhm, mhm.
All
Ain't
that
that
time
crazy
with
how
me
that
or
happens?
without me, it just boom, went on. So I think as grandpa, when the grandkids are coming to me and saying, "Hey, grandpa, can we do this?" They get a quicker yes.
Okay.
I
Okay,
learned my
so the
lesson as a
perspective.
parent on that one. Yeah, because
Got it.
time's gonna go with or without you. Either use it well or don't.
I think that's something that probably most of us know, it's just hard to apply. Yeah, maybe it's just
Yeah.
something that we need to keep at top of mind, as far as, that's happening all the time. There's so many things that we are putting off all the time, right?
Yes.
You're on social media, right?
I am.
Are you on, I know you're on are you on Instagram as well?
Instagram and Facebook is Blue Springs Jiu-Jitsu or Blue Springs BJJ, I think is the Instagram.
The Instagram. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
And
much. I really appreciate everything. I had a fun time talking to you.
you're welcome. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you have an awesome day. I'll reach out soon, all right?
All right. Thank you,
All right.
man.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.